Hey, welcome. You know, learning new words can be, well, a bit of a drag sometimes, right? Flashcards, dictionaries. So today we're going to try something different. We're going on an adventure to learn some new vocabulary, complete with monsters, heroes, and a pretty nasty dragon. Let's get into it.
And bam, we are jumping right into the action with these terrifying words. This is the very first thing our story's villain says. No hello, no how are you, just a straight-up threat.
So let's set the scene. Our story starts in a castle, but you gotta picture this. It's not some fancy place with kings and queens. This place is way out there, hidden deep in the remote southern mountains, and it's home to something truly evil.
And just so we're all on the same page, this isn't some kind of misunderstood creature. No way. The story makes it super clear this is a monster in every sense of the word. It's meant to be scary, strange-looking, you know, the whole scales, sharp teeth, and giant claws deal.
So you'd think this monster would just stay up in its creepy remote castle, right? Nope, it decides to fly down to a nearby town, not for a friendly chat, but to take over. It lands and immediately starts bossing everyone around.
And that brings us to our next big word, to command. This is key. It's not a suggestion, it's not a polite request. It's an order, and there's a serious threat behind it. The dragon is acting like it's the boss of everyone.
And to make sure everyone knows it's not messing around, the dragon puts on this just horrifying display of power. It stretches out its huge wings and then unleashes its scariest weapon.
Now what's really interesting here is how the story uses the dragon's wings. I mean, sure, they're for flying, but it's more than that. The dragon lifts them to look bigger, scarier, and to take this huge breath before its attack. It's pure intimidation.
And that attack, it involves steam. But, you know, this is not the kind of steam you get from your tea kettle. Oh no, this is some kind of magical, weaponized steam, and it has a truly shocking effect. And boom, this is where we see the real stakes. A man, just like that, turned into a stone statue. I mean, can you imagine seeing that? The townspeople were terrified. They knew they stood no chance, so they submitted.
So yeah, they submitted. They stopped fighting and agreed to do whatever this monster told them to. And it's so important to get this. They're not being cowards, right? They're just trying to survive.
But the story is not over. The townspeople, they don't completely give up hope. In this moment of pure desperation, they send a young boy to find a wise man living in a temple. They need some advice, a plan, anything.
And here's a really cool contrast. The wise man doesn't command the boy. He counsels him. See the difference? He actually listens to the problem first, thinks about it, and then gives advice. His power comes from wisdom, not fear, which is the total opposite of the dragon.
So, the wise man's advice, his counsel, it points to a way out. And it's this awesome plan, all rooted in prophecy and, well, cosmic power. He knows how to make a weapon that can actually beat this thing.
Okay, so the plan kicks off with this wild prophecy. A meteor, a rock from outer space, is going to fall from the northern sky and make a huge explosion. This isn't just any rock, it's the key to everything.
A meteor! How cool is that? The idea that the answer to their problem down here on Earth is literally going to fall out of the sky? This takes the story from just a monster hunt to something way more epic, like a true legend.
So the wise man lays out this super clear 4-step plan. And the first 3 steps, they're straight out of a legend, right? Find the meteor, bring it back, make a sword. But then you get to step 4. Cover yourself with smelly weeds? What?
And there's a really good reason for it. Those weeds, they're camouflage, but not for his eyes, for his nose. You know how in stories dragons always have an amazing sense of smell? Well, this is the clever way to get around that.
And this one tiny, kind of weird detail is all about ensuring the boy's success. It's the key to making absolutely certain he can sneak up on the dragon without being detected. Every single step is crucial.
All right, so our hero is all set. He's got a sword literally made from a star. He's covered in smelly plants, and he sets off for the dragon's castle for the final showdown.
And he does exactly what the wise man said. He gets to the upper level of the castle, and because of those weeds, he sneaks right up on the sleeping dragon. This is it, his one shot. And with that meteor sword, he takes it.
So, with the monster gone, the story ends with that classic hero's reward. The boy grabs the dragon's hoard, all the golden jewelry, and heads back to his town, not just as a survivor, but as a true hero who brought back riches for everyone.
And the jewelry here, it's not just about being rich. It's proof that he won. It's a symbol of their freedom and a way to help the town get back on its feet. It's a real reward for all their bravery.
Okay, so that was the story of the dragon's curse. Pretty cool, right? Now that you've seen all these words in action, let's see how much stuck with you. Time for a little quiz.
All right, first up, ensure. Let's think about this. Option B says you can ensure that it rains. Can anyone really do that? Make it rain for certain? Nah. But option A, good parents ensuring their children are safe. Yeah, they can take steps to make certain of that. So A is definitely our answer.
Next, let's talk about remote. Remember where the dragon's castle was? Way up in the remote mountains. It was super far away, hard to get to. It's not the kind of place you just, swing by after school. So option A just makes way more sense, right?
Okay, let's see how well you were paying attention. Go all the way back to the beginning of the story. How did the dragon show off its crazy magical power? What did it do?
Right. It wasn't the wings or the tail. It breathed steam on him. That weird, magical, misty gas was its signature weapon. Really shows you what a strange and powerful monster this was. And for our last one, let's think a little bigger. The boy needed a very specific tool, a meteor sword, to beat his monster. It really makes you think, doesn't it? What are the tools we need for our modern-day monsters? Things like climate change or misinformation. What are the meteor swords we need to invent to make sure we win those fights? Something to think about.